Welcome back, everybody, to the Jigsaw's channel. And probably the top question that I get is, what's it like to run a web hosting business? As some of you already know, I've been running a web hosting business for the good part of 11 years. And although I've had my ups and downs, there were more ups than downs. Probably getting started into the industry was the hardest part. For what I remember, working days and nights, uh, basically doing everything by myself. You're responsible for marketing your business, making sure everything's up and running, making sure the website is fine that's facing your clients, making sure the back-end hosting servers are up and running, because the last thing you want to do is have an outage when you're just trying to get established in the industry. Um, Starting out, I had to say the toughest part was basically keeping my customers. It wasn't as hard to get customers as I've done a lot of marketing online, and a lot of it you can do for free. I have another video on my channel, on this channel, on how to do that. But keeping those customers was a challenge because I didn't have that many clients to warrant me having a full server. So I was basically hosting people on a VPS, which didn't have a lot of capacity as far as like memory and processing power. So my clients, including my own website, which was hosted on that VPS, would go down often. So an outage would occur, two outages would occur, three. You start losing customers, and then when those customers experience an outage and they see that they can't even reach me because my website's down along with theirs, then they get really concerned and they jump ship. So as soon as I was getting them, I was losing them, which was a big challenge. Ultimately, I did make the decision, as I crept up as far as client count, to get a dedicated server and host my own website separately on, say, another web hosting provider's account, or even a VPS, which ultimately what I do now, which helped a lot. So growing, in the early days, growth was quite fast. It was hard, went through a lot of growing pains. A lot of times the servers would fill faster than what I would anticipate, which caused some issues as far as overcrowding, high server loads, more downtime. So it was a bit of a challenge. Lots of nighttime work, lots of daytime work, and a little bit of sleep. Eventually things started panning out, growth remained consistent, and I was able to kind of pre-order servers knowing, okay, I'm going to need this amount of network capacity by next month, next 3 months. It was easier for me to forecast as things were becoming more predictable. Made the job a lot easier. I did outsource some help. I couldn't handle it on my own, just too many clients, too many support tickets, too many chats, too many things to do for one person. But the outsourcing didn't work out well, only because just you're never going to get the same quality as, for example, an owner of his web hosting provider will give, or someone who's actually directly employed by a web host. And even then, the quality is not the same. Why? Because they don't own the business, they're not invested in it, they're just there to get the money, the paycheck, whatever it is. So owning a web hosting business is a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, 365-day a year responsibility. And what I mean by responsibility is you can have some days that are easy, where you don't have much to do, which is nice. And then other days are a total disaster. And then, of course, there's emergencies, a server is out, a website's out. The phone calls can come in at 3 o'clock in the morning, which not always was I able to answer. So it is a responsibility, but with that, you do get paid every day, every week, every month, because your clients, for the most part, do pay monthly. So if you have, even if you have, say, 300 clients, you're going to be receiving payments every day, 8, 10 payments a day, as they pay monthly. So it works out. It's nice to know you have the income coming in. It's not nice having a responsibility. It's almost like having a child. Same difference, only difference is you're getting money instead of spending money. But it's something that one gets grown accustomed to. I would not like to be without it. You develop a skin, you develop a strategy, you also develop an efficiency with running your business as the income just continues to come in day after day, week after week, month after month. So yes, it's stressful, but yes, you get a residual income from it. It's something that you can't really get fired from unless you're doing a poor job. Then your customers will fire you. There's always caveats in the road. Recently, their cPanel decided they wanted to increase their licensing for all web hosting providers. So that made a bump in the road, but not only for us, for everybody, required us as well as other hosting companies to recalculate their pricing strategy. So gone are the days are those hosts offering unlimited accounts for dirt cheap. Doesn't exist anymore. Gone. Thank you, cPanel. There's also bumps in the road. There's always new technologies coming out. There's updates. There's emergencies. There's hard drives that crash. Excuse me. Iced tea. One of the things that I learned early on is have redundant data. What is redundant data? Every server has 2 hard drives. Both drives are set to run on a RAID 1 array where they both mirror each other. So when one hard drive fails, which eventually every hard drive will fail, the wonderful thing is you never know when. I do say that sarcastically. But at least you'll have a backup drive running. Your clients won't notice it. The admin will receive the error on the server. They replace the drive. It remirrors the image. No downtime, no data loss. It's a beautiful thing. I learned that on my 2nd year in business. Prior to that, I didn't have a RAID redundancy of RAID, so when a hard drive would fail, it was a small disaster because everyone's sites on the server would go offline, and then I was forced to restore each and every website from backups, which were not in real time. Some were a few days old, others were a few weeks old, and not all clients were happy about that. So you learn by experience. You learn by doing, you learn by the school of hard knocks, you learn by your mistakes. 11 years into it, you're going to have most of your mistakes worked out. But the only thing I can recommend if you're planning on starting a web hosting business, do start with a host that's been around for a while. B, start with a host that's willing to show you the ropes and give you some guidance. You want me to recommend one? That's easy. Chicks Host. That probably in itself will be your biggest benefactor. I know when I started with a host that sold me a VPS, and they were kind enough to help me with my gazillion dumb questions that I did not know as I was brand new in the industry, but I was eager. I wanted to get my foot in. I wanted to do web hosting, and that's how I did it, because you don't learn about this in school. You don't learn about this in college. You really have to learn about this on your own, and you have to read about it, and you have to learn, and you have to practice, and you have to really want to do it. Can't do it for the money. because if you're not into it, you will get bored fast, really fast. So if you're contemplating on getting into the business, be sure it's for the right reason. It could be a wonderful thing. It could also be a horrible thing. It's not a walk in the park. It's not easy, but it's doable. And you can make it what you make of it. You can put a lot of time into it, or you cannot. It's not gonna automatically run by itself. It's not just because you put up a website, a back-end server, people are just gonna be flooding to your site, signing up and sending you their money. It doesn't work that way. I have another channel on my site. Do look for it on how to advertise your new website or your new web hosting business. If you do those things, then yes, you're going to get clients. Yes, they're going to go to your site. Yes, they're going to pay you. It works. I did it. I still do it. I still get customers. But what else can I talk about as far as a web hosting business, what its requirements are? I do have another video on this channel that tells you your requirements. Do look at those if you're interested. And other than that, I recommend you start with a reseller account, build yourself up to a VPS, and then go to a dedicated server from there. Pretty much that's it. That's all I have. If you have any questions, do post those down below. I'll be happy to answer those. If you found this video useful, hit that like button. If you'd like to know more about web hosting, do hit that subscribe button. Other than that, have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye.